Falana, did you want to kick things off, or shall we just go ahead and jump in?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today with Celigo and Oasis Solutions. We just wanted to thank you again for taking some time out this afternoon to learn a little bit about us and, again, Celigo. And I just wanted to let you know that at the end of this session, please hold any questions that you may have for the Celigo team or us, because we will have a short Q&A session at the end, so you can type those into the question box down at the bottom of your screen, and then we will address those questions at the very end. So again, thank you for joining us. I will let Carl start.
Thanks very much. We appreciate this opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and just jump into the agenda here. Today, we're going to talk about best-of-breed environments and how integration can help you to scale your business. We'll start by talking about why is this best-of-breed cloud apps environment exploding? Why are companies taking on so many new apps that are cloud-based? An approach that we see a lot of our customers taking is to put the ERP as the hub for a connected business. And then what's an approach that Celigo provides? We hope that at the end of this, you'll have some ideas on some of the opportunities as well as some of the risks in adopting more apps and how to get them talking to each other in an effective manner. Okay, so if we go back in time, we think about the monolithic days of ERP, client-server world, where the initial costs to get up and running were very high. There were many barriers to entry, and the time to value was very slow. In the past 10 years, there's been an explosion of cloud-based apps. Oftentimes, these are built for a specific purpose, like marketing automation, CRM, project management, collaboration. But getting them to speak to each other suddenly becomes a pain that's faced by many businesses. So it's very easy to get started. Oftentimes, a line of business user can start with a credit card and buy a few licenses, and that starts to proliferate within the organization. However, it doesn't speak with the core business applications like your ERP, your enterprise resource planning, or your financial management and accounting system. And what ensues often is this best-of-breed hairball, where different connectors, different scripts, different manual methods are attempting to get the applications speaking to one another. When we look at some of the hidden costs, what we at Celigo see when people start talking to us is they've gone down a path of doing a lot of manual data transfer. This could be simply emailing files, uploading them into the systems. This does not provide the visibility that management requires. So your CRM system is not talking to your sales system. Your CRM system is not talking to your finance system. Your order management system isn't talking to your sales system. And you have this problem of not being able to get a finger on the pulse of the business at any point in time. This often leads to a poor customer experience. How many of you have been in that experience where you bought something in the store and then attempted to return it online, or vice versa, and they don't have your order ready? It's that frustrating experience that people are unable to return products or be able to get visibility into what they've actually purchased, which leads to a poor customer experience. A lot of times, what companies we work with, before they've successfully integrated, they're just throwing bodies at this issue. They're putting more people in to facilitate the transfer of data, build out bespoke reporting systems, and it becomes a management headache, and it also does not allow the company to scale. So one approach that we've seen at Celigo is companies, by and large, have a financial management and or ERP system, enterprise resource planning system, which in our experience is the proper place for a for a junction of data, a Grand Central Station or a central nervous system for your data for the enterprise. This helps with point of sale systems feeding into the financial management accounting system or feeding into the order management system. When you have an issue of fulfilling orders, pick, pack, and ship an order, get that out to the website so customers know when their product is en route. Companies that have projects, they're able to kick those off, and as certain events happen along that project, kickoff, finish of the project, these trigger revenue events that are then captured in the ERP, which can also trigger things like billing or revenue recognition. So having that ERP as the hub, really what we've seen as companies have adopted a best of breed practice is an advantage because you already have it in place, and now it's a question of how are you going to get these systems talking to each other. So there are a number of options. What we see a lot of customers doing is nothing. They start off with just having sneakernet type of integrations, file uploads and downloads, and sometimes that's okay. You have to maybe focus on your CRM first before you can get it talking to other systems. If that's not that might be the path that some customers take. Another option is something that's custom built, hiring a developer to use the API documentation that's available by any cloud-based app that's out there to build custom integrations. What you often end up is with a lot of spaghetti code and a developer that you need to keep on some type of retainer. One little analogy I was thinking about, yes, you might want to have that custom built, that tailor-made suit, but would you buy a tailor-made suit for a 12-year-old that's in a growth spurt? No. A $5,000 tailor-made suit, that's not going to scale with your business. So what are some other options? There are a number of integration platform as a service. So these are cloud-based integration platforms or middleware. Some of the advantages are that you can get up and running very fast on these. They also have a lot of capabilities to develop for customizations, and they're very scalable. There are costs, licensing costs. There are development times, not development times, but training to get someone schooled on how to use a new iPaaS. And then finally, another option is when you have common cloud-based ops, something like a Salesforce and a Sage or a Magento and a NetSuite, there are a number of pre-built smart connectors that are on the market that really do that task of integrating those two specific apps. Here, the advantages are really a very fast time to market. There can be limitations on the ability to customize that. Vendors typically want a one-size-fits-all, and if they don't have that particular use case supported, you might be out of luck, or you might have to have a manual process to accommodate one specific business process. They are pretty scalable, but sometimes some of the lower end ones do have some upper end scalability issues. Okay, so these are some of this is sort of the evolution that we've seen of a best of breed world, some of the issues that are faced, and what are some of the options. This is where we're going to talk a little bit about Celigo, and then we'll open it up for a question or two here at the end. Celigo has developed a cadre or portfolio of smart connectors to those leading cloud-based apps. We'll take a look at those in a moment, that enable customers to have fast time to market or fast time to value, that are very scalable and accommodate most of the requirements most of the time. We complement this with a integration platform as a service, and integrator.io, which is very scalable, very customizable, and allows our customers and our partners like Oasis to develop virtually any integration between any two applications. So it's that double punch or that two-pronged approach that we've seen really helps customers in the market. Finally, I'm going to finish up here with a quick review, looking at some of the different smart connectors that we provide here from Celigo. leading applications like Salesforce and Zendesk, e-commerce applications like Shopify or Salesforce Commerce Cloud, also known as Demandware, as well as integrations to marketplaces or banking that are all being able to be available out of the box in a fast time to market. Okay, so we have some time left for any questions that might have come up. Thanks very much for attending this, and I hope you learned something new. So if there are any questions, please go ahead.
Solana?
Yes. Okay, Carl, let me see. Okay, the first question that we have right now, and please feel free, there's still plenty of time to have any questions forth after we handle the first couple that we have come through. So please go ahead and send those through. How long does an integration typically take?
How long is a piece of string? Joking aside, it depends. We see some of our smart connectors, for something like a Salesforce to NetSuite, very common thing. We've got hundreds of customers on that. The actual setup can take a few days. With testing, sometimes we see it as fast as 2 weeks. Typically, a typical project, whether it be to an e-commerce or to a CRM system, typically it's going to be on the average about 4 weeks to be up and running for a medium-sized or a larger enterprise, just because there's a lot of testing, a lot of dependencies, that need to be taken into consideration. And before you start to move data from one system to another, you have to make sure that all the departments are aligned. So it's not so much a technical challenge, it's oftentimes an operational challenge. Custom integrations, really all over the map. We see customers that just want to send a bunch of POs to a FTP site to their supplier. That can be done in minutes to hours. Complex integrations to warehouse management systems or to bespoke custom applications, that can take weeks or even months, depending on the implications to other departments and some of the underlying technologies. But I think the key takeaway here is, with the cloud-based apps and Celigo's approach, it's not a technical issue. It's oftentimes an operational issue, and getting the rest of the team on board with the new plan.
Okay, thanks, Carl. The next question we have is, what are the banking connectors?
Sure. So most of the banking connections that we have today are going to be specific to NetSuite. It's the ERP that we've seen, where Celigo has really kind of grown up. As we start to expand to other ERPs, NetSuite is still have most of them. So we have a handful. We have a Silicon Valley Bank reconciliation tool that allows us to retrieve an OFX file from Silicon Valley Bank, and then there's a lot of logic internally that helps with the bank rec process. The more popular one, though, is a cash application manager, which works with virtually any bank, that will streamline the accounts receivable, or more specifically, the payment posting process. So when we receive an electronic file of payments from a bank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Silicon Valley Bank, Chase, any number of banks, we'll retrieve that, it will integrate that, bring that into the ERP, and then automate the posting process to open invoices and close them out. Typically, this is a task that's done by an accounts receivable clerk. It takes a long time, requires a lot of management time. It's a headache. We do also have some payment integrations where we can take a payment file and post that out to the bank, which can then be consumed, and then the bank can make those payments on behalf. These are the three that we have today, and we're looking to develop more. Got a question just came through the chat. I'm getting old and I can't read it on the screen here. So we have it on a big screen in our headquarters in Celigo. So go back to that first one there, please. Thank you much. Flexibility for typical EDI as well as CXML formats for changing orders 810 and 850. Not sure if that is the correct document reference. All right. Mr. Van Winkle, you're testing my knowledge of EDI specs here. Yeah, I don't know if those are the correct correct numbers or whatnot. So yes, we do have a number of customers that are working with your 950s, your 850s, your 810s, the different types of EDI documentations. We do this primarily with Celigo professional services or customer success today. Later this year, we are coming out with an EDI adapter as well as an SQL adapter that will enable partners like Oasis or end customers to build out these integrations on their own. So the short answer is yes, these are supported. The capability for a customer to deploy something faster on their own with their own resources is something that you'll see later this year and into Q1 of next year. There was another question right behind it, as well as CXML. Yes. You know what? We're gonna get back to you specifically on CXML. I want to verify that and see if there are any limitations. So thanks for that, and we have your name. We'll get your email from Falana to make sure that we can accommodate that, and if there's any questions. And I think we are done. I think unless there's Falana, if there's anything else that you wanted to close with, I'll stop by saying thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. If you have any other questions or concerns, please follow up. You can watch in your email tomorrow. You'll be receiving a recording of this webinar. And then, of course, if you have any questions at all or would like some more information, you can reply to that email and get more information about either Oasis or Celigo. So, again, thanks for joining us today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
Thank you.